Welcome to Franklin Almanac. I'm Polikseni Manxhari. This is our 10th edition of Almanac, a compendium of life in Franklin. As always, we'll bring you important stories. What's happened? What's happening? What matters? Franklin would not be what it is without its people, whether it be local officials, police officers, or teachers. On this episode of Franklin Almanac, we explore what leadership has to do with building a strong and successful community. Education is a huge priority in the town of Franklin, so it's no surprise that our public schools have some of the highest rankings in the state. According to Niche.com's 2018 list of best school districts in Massachusetts, Franklin ranks number 8 in safety, number 31 with the best teachers, and 32nd for best place to teach. With its high ranks and high-achieving students, finding a new superintendent that can keep the schools pushing for greatness was a tough task. Through a rigorous interview process, school committee members and staff felt Sara Ahern was the best fit for that role. She is someone they can grow and learn with as a new district leader. I sat down with Sara to get to know what she hopes to achieve during her tenure in Franklin. She says reputation is one of the reasons she was attracted to Franklin. Let's take a look. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and talk about your new role as superintendent of Franklin Public Schools. So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
I know you went through a rigorous interview process, beating out people left and right. So tell me a little bit about why you decided to come to Franklin. What was it about Franklin that you loved?
I was so thrilled to go through the interview process and to get to know Franklin. I came in on a couple of different occasions interviewing with the school committee, and then I had an opportunity to visit for a lengthier part of time. Got to visit a couple different schools, meet with a couple of different administrators, and then I sat with a couple focus groups who had an opportunity to ask me questions and provide feedback.
Okay.
And I think throughout the process, I felt that that Franklin is comprised of really great people, really dedicated teachers, really committed to their craft, really committed to teaching and learning. I felt that in the parent and community forum, which was attended by, I don't know, something like 60 to 70 people, which I was really impressed with. I really felt a high level of investment and interest in the success of the Franklin Public Schools. And I also felt at the time, and I continue to feel very strongly, that there is a very, very strong administrative team of very high quality, very high caliber. And I'm really looking forward to working with the administrative team and kind of continuing forward and with some previous goals, as well as shaping and crafting new goals for the Franklin Public Schools to improve teaching and learning. Franklin Public Schools has a great reputation. Students are doing wonderful things, whether it's in academics or the arts or athletics. Students are high achieving, but I also get the sense that there is an interest in continuous improvement, which is also something that's important to me, and wanted to be in a place that is interested in getting better, but also recognizes the great things that they have. So Franklin just felt like a really, really good fit.
Were you able to meet some students and teachers as well during your time here?
I was. So I had an opportunity to visit some classrooms where I saw some of the students and I saw some teachers, also as part of some of the focus groups. And I don't want to wish my summer away too quickly, but I am looking forward to welcoming teachers and students back into the classroom in the fall and being out and about in meeting more of them.
Oh yes, you'll meet plenty as the school year begins. So I did read that you have a doctorate in educational leadership. I'm interested to know, why did you get into that field? What attracted you to it?
To a certain extent, I think I always knew I was going to be a teacher.
Okay.
When I was in 4th grade, Mrs. Naden had an extra set of teacher's materials for our reading book. And she used to let me borrow it, and I would take it home. And my younger brother would play school with me in the basement.
Oh, that's so great.
I would be the teacher, and he was my first student. So to a certain extent, I always loved school, and I always loved the process of learning, and kind of felt that it was something of a calling for me. It's been a perfect fit.
Great. Did you see yourself as superintendent one day? Or did you think it would just be teacher?
that was not something that I saw, but I think through the various roles that I've had in some different school systems, I've had some really wonderful role models who have kind of shown me how you can be a good superintendent and how to do the job with, with grace.
That's
and
great.
so because of those role models, I was kind of inspired to take on the challenge.
Pursue the job. Yeah, that's great. Well, I know that you did just begin your superintendent role here in Franklin in the beginning of July. So what are some of the things that you have already accomplished, and what are you hoping to accomplish in your first few months in the role?
Sure. I think one of the most important things that I could accomplish at this point, and actually throughout my tenure in the role, would be developing strong relationships. I think that education is a really complex endeavor, and I think that we are stronger when we act together as a team. And in order to build a strong team, the foundation of that are strong relationships. And so the activities that I've undertaken so far have really been with an eye towards developing and furthering some relationships that I have with key people in the district.
Sure.
I think that includes folks like the school committee members.
Yes.
It includes central office administrators and staff. It includes, at this point, building principals and administrators in the schools. Certainly that will expand to parents and teachers and hopefully some students too.
Yeah, the whole spectrum.
The whole spectrum, as well as community members, particularly as I get more time here in the district. So for me, that's my number one priority. Certainly, there's a lot of planning in the summer that happens to open up school in the fall.
Yes.
There are some projects happening in the schools. There is also some hiring to do to make sure that we are staffed for the fall. So those are some of the activities
that you're working on right now.
That I'm working on at this point in time. In terms of hopes for the future, in terms of what we can accomplish, I want to keep it focused on student outcomes.
Sure.
And I want to make sure that we're working towards getting students what they need ultimately when they graduate from Franklin Public Schools.
Of course.
And so I'll be keeping that in mind, making sure to work with the building principals and really focusing on instruction in the classroom and making sure students have the skills, both academic skills and social and emotional skills in order to be to pursue their dreams.
Of course, have to be well-rounded.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, education is extremely important here in Franklin, or else we wouldn't have 14 schools just in one town. So what are you hoping to bring to Franklin with your prior experience?
I think one of the areas of strength that I have is in the area of technology integration.
Oh, great.
And I think it's not just a passion, but I think it's supremely important, particularly in this day and age. And I think it's important to do well and make sure that students have the new literacy skills that they need in order to navigate complex technological changes that are happening. And so my background and interest in tech integration, I think, is something that I can't help but bring to a district, because I do think it's important to identify opportunities for deep and meaningful integration of technology, finding ways to make the educational experience really contemporary and relevant in today's world, while giving kids the skills that they need. Sometimes that involves being very active with technology, but it also might mean disconnecting and showing students how to disconnect and take a break. So I would point to meaningful opportunities for tech integration to be definitely something that I'll bring to the
and nowadays we can't really escape technology. It's all around us. So I think it's very interesting that you want to incorporate it in, academic ways, but then also teach students to disengage. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and the town of Franklin so they can get to know you a little bit. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing what you were able to accomplish, and we're very excited to have you, and congratulations again.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Congratulations again to our new superintendent of Franklin Public Schools, Sara Ahern. We look forward to seeing progress in the community that will help put Franklin on top. The third annual Franklin Cultural Festival celebrated the arts on July 26th to 29th. Town residents were able to not only enjoy the performing arts, but also the fine arts and culinary arts. The 4-day festival featured concerts at the Black Box Theater and the Town Common, including world-famous group Electric Youth. Kids' activities like sidewalk chalk and live painting were just some of the ways the town captured the real essence of art in the community. We spoke to members of the Franklin Cultural District Committee, including Alan Mercer, who says the arts help our youth with communication skills. Let's learn more about what the festival had to offer.
The Cultural District is designed to gather and increase awareness of the arts and cultural assets in your town. And so that's the mission. So we try to increase awareness, and we try to generate revenue by increasing awareness of those facilities, like the Franklin Performing Arts Company and the Black Box, like the Historical Museum or the Franklin Library. The Cultural Festival, that is the first step in how we go about doing just that. And by bringing together many organizations, it starts tonight with the Franklin Performing Arts Company and Electric Youth, and tomorrow with several artists that are local to our area coming and performing here on the Common. And then on Friday, more of the same. On Saturday, we celebrate not only the arts and performing arts, but we celebrate the fine arts with the Franklin Art Association, who will be setting up a demonstration and exhibit in the lobby of the Black Box. And the arts teaches some wonderful things for young people. It's great for communication skills, both one-on-one and one-on-many. And so while we're having fun, we're driving revenue, and all's good with the world.
With the revitalization of the downtown Franklin area, we're hoping that this has ultimately an economic benefit as well, because it brings people together, brings them into a central location. Hopefully they spend some time downtown, spend some money in the local restaurants, learn about all the programs, that are offered here in Franklin, to have their kids maybe take music lessons or join an art association or become involved with FPAC, Franklin Performing Arts Company. There's just so much going on here. And this is a way to bring groups together to collaborate. It's also a way for us to market all of the cultural activity that's going on in Franklin.
I know you are here with the Franklin Cultural Council, so tell us what brought you here to the event.
So the Franklin Cultural Council is a grant-making body. We award grants to projects in the arts, humanities, and interpretive sciences. The Franklin Cultural Festival, which is starting today, is one of our grantees. So we awarded them a grant to help fund the festival this year so that it is free to the community. We are here in support of the festival, but we're also here to bring awareness to what it is that we do and why arts funding is important. So one of the things that we've got tonight are a series of postcards for different arts topics. So this one is about Arts Drives Tourism, but we also have one about why arts education is important for students, why arts are important for the community, and why arts therapy is important for veterans. And so the idea is that they have little pre-printed messages on the back, and people can simply come over, fill out a return address and sign their name, and then send it to a legislator of their choice to let them know that arts funding is important to them and that the arts are important to the community.
Well, speaking of which, in your opinion, why do you think the arts are vital for the Franklin community?
I think they bring us together. I think it's too easy in our busy, busy lives for people to just kind of go their separate ways, to live in their bubble. And I think something like this festival brings people out as a community, brings them together. They have a shared interest. They can spend time together, just enjoying themselves, enjoying their community. And I think that that is something that is really important in a world that is all about technology and being fast-paced and all of that. Arts allow us to slow down and enjoy each other.
It's really fostering the collaboration between the arts and the business, right? Franklin's already been named the #1 on multiple lists. This is really the reasons behind why it is #1, why people want to be here. You've got things for the kids, things for the adults, and when you bring people together around food, music, things just magically happen.
Franklin Cultural District is looking for volunteers for next year's event. If you love the arts and would like to get involved, visit franklinma.gov for more. According to the FBI's 2015 Uniform Crime Report, the highest percentage of crime happens in the summer, with August being the most common month. While Franklin is one of the safest towns in Massachusetts, they are still working hard to address these issues with our future generation. Operation Chill is a community relations program designed to reduce crime and enhance relations among police and youth. This program allows police officers to go around the community and pass out tickets to youngsters they observe exhibiting good behavior, like picking up trash or wearing a helmet. The ticket is good for a free small Slurpee at any participating 7-Eleven store. The goal of this summer activity is to get youth comfortable approaching police officers in the community. We met up with 2 local officers at King Street Memorial Park as they passed out some tickets. Let's see what happens when Patrol Officer Baker and Officer Fioro approach the kids.
It's basically a safety thing for the kids. You have to be under 16. You must wear a helmet. That goes for skateboard, bicycle, anything that's you're going to motorize yourself. So if you fall back, you don't split your head open. At least you got a half a chance with a helmet on. So.
Well, speaking of which, I know you guys are giving out coupons today. So what behaviors are you looking for in these kids to give them out?
Well, I mean, I think like Officer Froyo was saying, was safety when they're riding their bikes and things, but we also want them to be able to feel comfortable approaching us. So if we can be involved in the community in any way, I think it pays off.
Yeah, I concur with her, but I mean, it works like seatbelts in the car too. You know, it's all education and making sure they strap up and buckle up with their helmet.
So what is your message that you're trying to send to the community and these kids by participating in Operation Chill?
Well, I think overall, like I said before, with being police officers being approachable, I think is a big thing for the youth. We kind of have a bad name lately with the news and whatnot, and I think it's great to reach out to the kids while they're still young to hopefully get them on the right road.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was a dare officer a while back. Like I said, it's all education. Everything's education today. Just, you know, you can get into crash dynamics on motor vehicles. We see a lot of kids standing up in the back seat of cars, and the parents are well aware of what's going on today. And you know, even with us, I wear a seatbelt every day. I've been here 33 years, and I get some of my fellow officers that don't believe in them, and they should, because it's the same dynamics whether you're a cop or not in a crash. So, you know.
So what has been the result so far this summer with Operation Chill?
I think it's been pretty positive. Well, the coupon books that we have, a lot of us have run out, you know, and need extras. So I think that's great. We've gone into some of the apartment complexes where we know there's a lot of children, and I've gone out and walked around a bit, and they've all approached us. So it's just so we can get to know them. They can see our faces on just a, you know, casual level. So I think it's been pretty positive.
Let's go for one small Slurpee at the 7-Eleven uptown.
So what did you think when the officer approached you? What did you think he was going to say?
I had absolutely no idea what was going on. I was kind of nervous. I didn't know police were here. I don't know.
So what did you think when they gave you the coupon for the Slurpee? How did that change your opinion?
I was rather happy about that because that completely changed my outlook on what was happening.
Well, when they gave me the free slushies, I obviously knew they were friendly.
All right, so what did you guys think when the officers approached you today? What was your initial thought? What were they going to say?
I thought I was going to be in trouble for something.
I thought I was going to get in trouble, yeah.
I'm going to jail. Interviewing somebody over there.
I thought it was going to be like a problem, like there's like something wrong.
So when they gave you the coupons for the Slurpees, what happened? What was your thought then?
I was surprised. It's like that you get a Operation Chill, and it's kind of, it cools you down when you go to stores.
So do you guys know why you got the coupons?
No. Wearing a helmet. You wear your helmet.
Riding our bikes.
For good behavior, right? Yeah. So does it make you guys want to continue and repeat your good behavior?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think they did it because they don't want us to get hurt, because some kids get really hurt when they aren't wearing a helmet, and that's why parents are wondering, just like, keep your helmet on or else you're going to get hurt.
Now the big question, does it make you guys more comfortable around police officers in Franklin?
Yeah.
Well, to begin with.
Yeah. Always have been.
So tell us again, what is this all about?
Operation Chill!
Since its inception in 1995, Operation Chill has grown to include over 1,000 law enforcement agencies. During that time, more than 19 million coupons have been distributed and counting. Keep an eye out as local officers will be making their rounds throughout the summer. A 4-letter word has changed the lives of people around the world. 36 million to be exact. DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education, is a program that seeks to prevent the use of controlled drugs, membership in gangs, and violent behavior in kids. Starting in 4th or 6th grade, elementary students learn how to resist peer pressure and make personal choices regarding smoking, drug abuse, and alcohol consumption. This program came to Franklin once again, where 50 to 70 students take part in fun outdoor activities like dodgeball with local police officers. Like Operation Chill, Sergeant Spillane told us this activity also helps kids in the community become more comfortable with police, since they get to see them as they really are. Veterans of the program shared with us why DARE keeps them coming back for more. Let's have a look.
When kids sign up for the DARE program, what can they and their families expect?
Our goal is to have fun, number one. We do a lot of team building activities, so we want them to interact with their peers, be supportive and positive in that interaction. And we're going to get them outside and do a lot of outside activities. This camp is built on being outdoors and being active and trying to get the kids back to, getting away from the computer screens and the video games and getting them back outside and see how much fun they can have outside.
So, as you know, there's been an ongoing opioid crisis in our country, and it's also hit Franklin as well. How does this address those issues?
I think in a small way it does. I think just by us getting the kids out and getting to be a little bit more active and being social. And, a big component is the interaction they have with the police officers. They're forming relationships with us that they don't even realize. I see a lot of these kids years later, and they still make reference to DARE Camp and how much fun they had. And, we're just giving them another resource in their future life when they get into high school or maybe their early 20s, that if they ever need that resource, they know that they've made a friend and we're available to them at any time.
Now, I know you mentioned the connections with police officers. Why do you think it's so important for our youth and police officers to be connected in the community?
I think that they have to see that we are real people, that we like to do these things. Believe it or not, our guys are having just as much fun as the kids are. We're out playing games. We do a lot of activities. Yesterday, we spent the day at Water Whiz, and I think I enjoyed the slides just as much as they did at my age. But it's just, having that relationship and seeing them outside of the uniform and feeling comfortable to approach them when they see them, or even coming into the station and saying, I have a problem. Would you be willing to help me out? And, the guys that we have here, as well as all of our police officers, that's their job. We want to solve problems before they become a problem. And obviously, when you think of the opioid crisis, that, we'd like to solve that before it becomes an issue with anyone in our town.
So the DARE program covers a lot of issues like bullying, violence, and drugs. Is there anything else that you'd like to see covered in the future that maybe it doesn't cover now?
No, I think it's a pretty well-rounded program. We've introduced the bullying piece that, 20 years ago, it was strictly just talking about drugs and alcohol. Now we've introduced bullying. We talk a lot about risky decision-making, and it's really not even about alcohol or drugs. It's just about making good decisions about certain activities you do, and thinking through the process to find, assess, respond, and then evaluate your response and say, okay, was this a really good response, or could I have done it a little bit differently? So just giving them those tools in their toolbox too, when they get caught up in that situation, they can really think through it and say, you know what? Maybe that's not the right decision. I'm going to do this instead. So it's providing them with those tools and also the knowledge of the harmful effects of some of these things that are out there that can be available to them as they get older.
So what are you hoping that these kids will get out of this program? I know it's a week-long program and you usually have 50 to 70 kids. So what do you want them to get out of it?
Like I said earlier, fun is number one. Form some relationships with your peers that are here. We have multiple schools coming here, so they're forming new relationships and doing something out of your comfort zone. All the kids come in here and say, I like to do this, but we're not going to do just that. We're going to do a whole bunch of other things. And you see some of the games we do, like these are dodgeball and soccer, but we do some things like captain's calling and quicksand and some games that they probably never played before, but once you start playing them, they're fun and they're enjoyable and they enjoy it, and it's a bonding thing for them.
Well, I've been doing it for 4 years instead of the 3 that's usual because I was jealous of my brother, so my dad let me get in early. And I love it because in the morning you do the PT and you feel really good about yourself when you come back, and then you get to have lots of fun doing games and team building activities. So you get to work together and hang out with your friends and things too. So it's a lot of fun.
My favorite part is going to the water park and playing the games here, and I've been doing this for 3 years. I think it's really fun playing the games and going to the water park every year.
I've been here for 3 years, and my favorite part is playing the activities because we get to team build, and that's really helpful in life.
So what would you say to other kids who want to get involved in the DARE program or have maybe never heard of it and would be interested in doing something like this?
That it's definitely something that you want to try to participate in because you learn lots of new things, like how to march for, say, on the last day when you show your parents, and you learn how to build endurance with running and everything. So yeah, it's a lot.
I would say that it's really fun to play the games, and you get to have a good workout by running and stretching every morning. I would say it's just really fun. It's a good camp.
Yeah, it's really good to show what you're made of because you go running, you get to see how much of a team player you are. It's really fun.
To get involved with DARE, make sure to reach out to your local police department for their next camp. And remember, kids, just say no. Being a leader is a vital role in any community, a role that goes beyond status and titles. Leadership is about inspiration, changing the lives of others, and being a strong role model. When it comes to our youth, good role models are more important now than ever before. It's easy for kids to get caught up in celebrity news that's so easily accessible on television and the web. Everyone needs someone to look up to, but do we want our kids to follow people purely for entertainment value? Or those who lead by good example? For most, good example is a matter of perspective. But what makes the difference is if that good example leads to positive effect. Steering kids in the right direction starts at home in Franklin, a town that has continued to show just how much they value strong leadership. We shouldn't lose sight of the real role models in our lives, like family, teachers, and even law enforcement. As Ben Franklin has said, godparents and instructors can never be requited. This wraps up our 10th edition of Franklin Almanac. As we continue to bring you more stories, we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to email us at almanac@franklin.tv. You might just see your idea on our next episode. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. For Franklin Almanac, I'm Polikseni Manxhari.